Hello, I'm Michael Topham, technical writer for digital photo, and welcome to this video tutorial that's going to show you how we can merge a number of our different shots together to create a stunning nighttime composite image. This video will see us combine the shots in Elements. However, if you're a Photoshop user, this video lesson has been also made so that it's compatible for you. Painting subjects with a torch at night and capturing the results with your camera can be great fun. You'll find out how to go about taking composite nighttime images in the magazine. But to make the technique work, and for it to look as effective as it can be, we need to know how to combine all of our consecutive exposures together. This is relatively straightforward to do using layers and blending modes. So let's get stuck into this technique and see how we created this final tree image on my screen. We're going to be starting with the file tree1.jpg, and you'll find this in the Start Images folder on the CD. Once you've located tree1.jpg, just load that up into either Elements or Photoshop. Before we start merging our 8 different exposures together, it's very important that you can see your layers palette clearly on your screen. And if you can't, just go up to Window in the menu bar and then go down and select Layers. Now we need to load up the file tree2.jpg, so go up to File in the menu bar, down to Open, head back into the Start Images folder on the CD, locate the file tree2.jpg and load this up into Elements. With tree2.jpg now on your screen, we need to select the entire document. We can either go up to Select and then down to Select All, or we could have hit the keyboard shortcut for that, which is Ctrl-A. Move up to Edit in the menu bar, and then go down and click on Copy. Once you've copied the tree2.jpg file, you can actually just close it down. You should now be looking at tree1.jpg, and we need to paste that copied file into this document. So go up to Edit, and then down to Paste, and you'll immediately see in your Layers palette how you've now got 2 layers. You've got your main background layer, and you've got layer number 1. Making sure that you're selected on layer 1 in the Layers palette, we're looking to change the blending mode of this layer. So click where it says Normal, which will load up the list of different blending modes. And from the list, we want to choose Lighten. Move across into the toolbox and select the Eraser tool, and then go up into the Options bar and set up a brush size of around 600 pixels, and make sure the opacity is set to 100%. Move into the image and then use the Eraser tool very simply just to paint back the moon. Now move up into the Options bar and reduce the opacity from 100% down to around 40%, and then use the Eraser tool again just to very simply brush this over the bottom left of the image just to remove some of that bright light. Just a couple of brush strokes will do you, and there we go, that's starting to look a lot better already. The next stage of the technique involves adding a bit of contrast, and we can do that by first of all selecting the background layer in our Layers palette, and then we can go up to Layer in the menu bar, down to New Adjustment Layer and click on Levels. When the New Layer dialog opens up, hit OK and you'll see the levels on your screen. We're looking to control the highlight slider over on the right, so just take hold of this slider and drag it left, and we want to settle for a value of 170. Move up, hit OK, and you'll see how you've got a new levels adjustment layer in the Layers palette. Hit the letter D to set your foreground and background colours to default, and then move across and move down beneath the toolbox and make sure that you've got your foreground colour set to black. Move up from your foreground and background colours and select the brush tool, and go up into the Options bar, set a brush size of around 700 pixels and make sure the opacity is set to 60%. We can then use the brush tool and paint into our layer mask just to return a little bit of detail and information in the sky area. Once you've painted into your layer mask, go into your Layers palette and select layer number 1. We're now ready to load up some of the other files you'll find in the Start Images folder. So go up to File and down to Open. Select the files tree3, tree4, tree5 and tree6.jpg. You can do that by holding down Shift on the keyboard. And once you've got those files selected, go down and click on Open to load them up into Elements. Focus on tree3.jpg to begin with. Select tree3.jpg by hitting Ctrl and A, and then go up to Edit and down to Copy. Once you've done that, you can close down tree3.jpg. Moving back to tree1.jpg, we're looking to paste in tree3.jpg, so go up to Edit and then down to Paste. You'll be able to see layer number 2 in the Layers palette, and we need to change the blending mode of this layer to lighten like we did with layer number 1 a little bit earlier. Make sure you've got layer number 2 selected and then click on Normal to load up the list of blending modes and then click on Lighten. We need to repeat this process for tree4.jpg, tree5.jpg and tree6.jpg. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you again how to do it with tree4.jpg, and then you can repeat the process with tree5 and tree6. So with tree4 on my screen, I need to select the entire image by hitting Ctrl and A, going up to Edit in the menu bar and down to Copy. Then I can close down tree4.jpg, move back to tree1.jpg and paste that in by going to Edit and down to Paste. You'll see the new layer in your Layers palette, and then change the blending mode of that layer from Normal to Lighten. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to repeat the process for the files tree5.jpg and tree6.jpg. So after copying and pasting in the files tree3, tree4, tree5 and tree6.jpg, this is the effect, and don't forget to change the blending mode of the layers as you paste them in. And I've changed all of the blending mode layers in layers 2, 3, 4 and 5 to lighten. The next step involves adding the last 2 files. You'll find both of these in the Start Images folder, so select both of them and then load them up into Elements. With both of these files now on your screen, you need to concentrate on tree7.jpg first. Select it by hitting Ctrl and A, and then go up to Edit in the menu bar and go down to Copy. You can then close down tree7.jpg and go back to tree1.jpg. Go up to Edit, down to Paste, and you'll be able to see that you've now got layer number 6 in the Layers palette. We need to change the blending mode of this layer, so click on Normal and change it to Lighten, and then we're going to brush back some of the sky detail using the Eraser tool. Make sure that you're selected on the Eraser tool from the toolbox and go for a brush size of around 700 pixels and an opacity of around 100%. Very carefully just work your way around the outside of the tree, and you'll be able to see how you're just very simply brushing back that sky detail. Once you've brushed back the sky with the Eraser tool, you can go down and select tree8.jpg. Select it by hitting Ctrl and A, go up to Edit, down to Copy, and then close the file like we did with tree7.jpg. Back at tree1.jpg, we can paste in tree8.jpg by going up to Edit and then down to Paste. Like we did with the layer number 6, we're going to change the blending mode of layer number 7 to Lighten, and then go across and select the Eraser tool again from the toolbox. Like we did with layer number 6, we're just going to paint back some of the sky detail, making sure that we're selected on layer number 7 in the Layers palette. Use the brush size of around 700 pixels and an opacity of around 100% just to paint back that fantastic sky detail. With all of the composite work finished, and now that we've blended our 8 different exposures together, we can think about flattening the image. To do this, we go up to Layer in the menu bar and then down to Flatten Image, and you'll be able to see how all of the layers in the Layers palette crunch down into one. One of the last steps in this technique involves using the Burn tool just to even out some of the lighting on the tree. So zoom into the tree by hitting Ctrl and plus a couple of times on the keyboard. Move over into the toolbox and select the Burn tool near the bottom, and then move into the options bar, set a size of around 200 pixels and set the exposure to 25%, making sure that the range is set to midtones. Carefully just run this brush over the tree and you'll be able to see how you're just darkening down a little bit of the left side of the tree just to even out the lighting where some of the torchlight has been rather harsh. So just run a few brush strokes over the tree and you'll see how the lighting on the left side of the tree is now starting to match up with the right side of the tree. Zoom out by hitting Ctrl and minus a couple of times, and one of the last steps involves just rotating the tree so it's a little bit more vertical. Select the entire image by hitting Ctrl and A, and then enter free transform mode by hitting Ctrl and T. Move the cursor beneath the bottom right corner handle and rotate the image anti-clockwise very slightly. As soon as the tree appears a little bit more upright, you can hit enter to apply the transformation, and then we're going to go across and pick out the crop tool. Before we do that, we just need to deselect those marching ants by hitting Ctrl and D. Moving into the toolbox, pick out the crop tool and draw out a crop box across the entire image. Hold down Shift to keep the crop in proportion, and then just drag it in very slightly to make your new crop. When you're happy with the crop box, you can apply the crop very easily by hitting the Enter key on the keyboard. After doing all of this hard work, don't forget to save your image. So go up to File, down to Save As, choose a location to save your file, give it a new name, and I'm going to give it the name treefinished.jpg, and once you've done that, click on Save, and you've saved it so you can come back to it at any time in the future. So now that you know what's involved to create a stunning nighttime composite image, why not get out there and give this technique a try for yourself? Make a note of all the shooting tips in the magazine, and then follow this technique once you're back in the comfort of your own home, and you'll be producing fantastic looking night shots that you might never have thought were possible. I hope you've enjoyed watching this digital photo video lesson that's concentrated on putting together and building a nighttime composite image, and I look forward to bringing you another digital photo video in the near future.